truck with troops and an officer standing on it. It was getting daylight with a pistol in his hand. I reload, meantime, my rifle, and I shot the officer and the driver, and then, meantime, grenade came from the rear of the truck, and I went to oblivion and ditched that cover, and they found me in that condition. So I have a eyes. I thought I lost my eye, but anyway,
Was
I was able to.
was this late on D-Day?
That was on the 9th of June.
No, when you landed with your unit.
Yes, up on landing, yes.
Right.
Up on landing, I lost my platoon leader. He was killed. I sent a word on it to move forward. My company commander, Kendall Maltrap, he was wounded too. He was stepping on a mine. He was wounded, evacuated to England. So therefore, we lost 2 officers, and the executive officer took over the company, which I was a little reluctant of his assumption of command because a capability to lead. But anyway, I didn't have the opportunity too long because I was wounded on the 9 and evacuate. And we enter already area close to about 15 miles inland. And we moved to, the regiment moved to Gamont position. That was, and I was wounded in the St. Anne on a large-scale map with all the villages, places you can locate the St. Anne. And to the left was the British elements, which I was unable to contact because I was knocked out.
When did you return to the unit? Why don't we pick it up then when you rejoined your unit?
Being in England, Oxford Hospital, and with troops with some mostly burns and optical eyes injuries so far. And finally, I was ready to come back. I came to replacement Litchfield. I have again relapsed malaria, so I was detained again. So this is a really tough finding. The malaria I was able to control. I took a packet of replacements across the channel to join my outfit. Meantime, outfit was rapidly moving from Saino, breaking through and going. I missed all the opportunity so far a chasing. That was not engaging, but that was a one-start big chase. But once I rejoined, it wasn't so easy because I rejoined so far. In Belgium, we moved to Aachen, and Aachen was a hard nut to crack because a fanatic been defending over there. And the word was from Hitler, Aachen will never surrender. Everybody will die. The majority of them die. But the Aachen surrender, and the Aachen surrender on 21 October to John T. Colley, 3rd Battalion, 26th Infantry 1st Division, the first major city to fall to the Allies. Of course, other divisions were in an area of Aachen because Aachen is a big city. And, but then credit go to 1st Division, and needless to say, credit go to my battalion commander, and you see on a display in the National Infantry Museum in Fort Benning, and the comments I made about my battalion commander. So it was a finally, while moving through area from them, we moved to Hardland Forest. After Aachen, I was wounded, I was shot, so, but I returned back my arm in a sling, but I was able, nothing else was wrong with me, I was able to come in. And because the lead was still been in the arm, but I was able to move to Hardland Forest, and that was a very, very hard place to overcome, where about 6 or 8 divisions got bloody nose. The 1st Division, the 4th Division, 28th Division, 35th Division, not mistaking, and other divisions, because that was hard to overcome due to dikes, wet, and so forth. We lost the 2 company over them, rather E Company, where it could not deliver tanks to penetrate, and that company was captured. We have to send replacements to the 2nd Battalion so we cannot keep cohesiveness a operational unit. And from each company, you send so many men to 2nd Battalion.
Had the snow begun to fall at this time? Were you?
Yes. Well, this finally, not so much snow. We have it over here in the Hardland Forest. We pulled to Dobol preparation, and at that time, before in December, word came in, I was selected to go to the States. I mean, veterans who wounded and decorated throughout the division, about maybe 20 of us from division going back to States. And that was happening when the Battle of the Bulge started. We arrived in Paris. So from each divisions, they have people going to States and return back. So I was expecting.
Why don't we take a pause right there, and then we'll pick it up with the Battle of the Bulge.
Okay, and we're ready. Set.
Sergeant Major, let's pick the story up at around the Battle of the Bulge and go
Yeah.
forward from there.
Yes, the Battle of the Bulge, we knew what was going on because being at that time in the States, I still was recovering from malaria because I was taking medication, but upon return back, I was ready, anxious to see my men and to find out how many do I have, those who initially I left them before we go into States. And I lost some very brave soldiers who were squad leaders. However, I have to train new ones. And we push on, and then finally we go into Sudetenland to move, and we run through Hartz Mountain. It was tough because we fought a SS division and very demanding, I would say, a ruthless individual. You have to take him, dispose him before you can take any prisoners. So finally we overcome those hard fighting through Hartz Mountain. Matter of fact, having my experience with 2.36 rocket launcher, with one morning this approaching to my name village Brunlage, that was then in the East Zone, Germany, and that was in location after the war. And I'll see this tank outline. I said, I will get me finally a tank with this little PB gun, which actually was. I aimed the proper place and I fire, and believe me, it just stir up hornet's nest. The turrets turn around and you spray everything in an area. I was hanging by the tree close to the ground, and I threw that rocket launcher, and I said, I never would fire again at the tank unless I have the proper weapons. So that was my engagement with the tank. The tank pull out and roar and move out. It was I could not tell what it was. I don't say a King Tiger. Well, that was a monster one. And I possibly could use a modern weapons, which we have it today, so therefore penetration could be made. Finally, I captured this in a Brunlage Major. And he was about 6'4", 2, monocle in his eyes. And I told him, surrender your weapons. And you look at me, where's your commander? I said, I'm the commander. You have, when he mentioned, spoke English well. You're an uncommissioned officer, so far. I said, I'm the commander, surrender your weapons. And so far, a couple of my sergeants, seeing this major, said, look at that son of a gun, he got a beautiful watch, take his watch. As much as I would like to take his watch, I will take the weapons. But my personal pride as an uncommissioned officer, I would not belittle myself to take the individual's watch. But finally, I let him know. I said, I am a American Pole, and I do have a relation in Europe. And suddenly I see the ashen face on him, and he reached quickly in the holster and passed on the pistol, which I have it today in my possession, 32 caliber, the latest German HC model. And I didn't want to belittle him as being a German officer, to drop on his knees, handle with both hands. I was thinking to do that, but I just bypassed that. You surrender weapons. I told one of my sergeants, take him to battalion commander. He took down into battalion commander, and Colonel Corley called me. He said, Teddy, he called my first name, that Han complained that you mistreat him. I said, sir, check on him if he's got the watch. As much as I'd like to take his watch, but my pride as an uncommissioned officer prevent me to do that, to belittle myself. And it was a beautiful watch, dials and everything else, the latest watch, we didn't have it. But anyway, so this is it. So that was the relation with my battalion commander when you call about. And so that was over. And entered to Czechoslovakia, Schwambach. And the war was over, and they mentioned we were going to get large amount of troops passing through our lines, because the entire German corps wanted to surrender to the American instead to the Russian. And they marched for about 2 days before passing our ranks over there. Under weather, drinking, singing alles kaputt, and singing so forth to go on this Americanisch, so forth, speaking of them, nurses, female, and everything else. Finally, just move on. We have to segregate everything else. We held the position over there until we remain in that area till June 22nd, because I have a diary. On June 22nd, we depart back to Germany, that we're going to depart. We stay in an area, Linzhammer, Czechoslovakia, little Czech village. Matter of fact, I understand some Czechs because I translate to my company commander who have a CP, but I have an outpost alongside the river. And all night people coming out, they try to cross. You have to stop them. But you see, they're escaping from the Russian. And so far, I said, go ahead, go to the Americans' lines. And some of them spoke English. You have many people who spoke English from the south. I was very much surprised. Normally, I was asking them what part they from, so far what different, because I was hoping that maybe I can meet someone from the area where my parents live in Poland. And then finally, about 30 kilometers, I ran to one couple. I just tell them, I gave it some money and food. I said, if you're able to visit over there, just let my parents, I'm still alive. Because I have no contact with my parents. So finally, on the 22nd of June, we depart back to Germany. We arrive in Einsbach, Hindenburg concern, occupied. And of course, war is over, and this little village, Einsbach, no fraternization, order command, and all soldiers. They have various refugee camps which be in control. You have to control your troops to go out, order command, otherwise you get court-martialed. So being in position with responsibility, you have to be very careful to whom you talk to and so forth. But anyway, we remain in that position over there. And at that time, the 1st Division troops be receiving some French decoration. It must have been about, 40 or 50 of us, and some officers and NCOs to stand. And again, going through this French general passing up there, and again, the kissing's going on. My mind's going back to 11 November 1942 in Jebel Majaj, North Africa, the contact, the French general with Teddy Roosevelt, and here again, the kissing's going on. But knowing the customs so far, and I received the French Croix de Guerre avec de Louis, and so for a star, and so that was the contact. From there, from Einsbach, you want me to continue on, sir?
I think maybe we'll stop at this point on
I
World
want to
War
cover
II.
the war trials.
Could you say a few words about that, please?
War trials. From there, we moved to Fürth, and the war order came in that we're going to be guarding those detainees, a famous 21 Nazi in Polish justice. So my company, the K Company, and likewise in 3rd Battalion elements, being responsible. My company steady been perform guard, 24 on, 24 off to go out over there. So being a first sergeant, you have a pass to enter to in the Polish justice and witness the faces of those people. I'll see a Goring sitting on a chair, strip of his medal and his tunic. He looked at me, those green eyes, and he watched me. And my mind went back to Africa and Fayed Pass when this Messerschmitt come in and straighten the juice from cactus get into my face. So here is Pine is sitting over there, and here this American first sergeant look at him straight in the eyes. He's sitting on a tunic. I walk next up there, I'm looking at a Hess. He's sitting on a chair. I'll see a donuts. I'll see the Yodel. I'll see the other ones. And finally, I'll see the bitch from Buchenwald, the name Estes, so far, when she